Sean O'Malley and Chito Vera are set to fight at UFC 299, the rematch. These two became instant rivals when they first fought, just because of the differences in personalities. So there was a little bit of bad blood in the first fight. Chito Vera is a very macho type of guy. Sean O'Malley is a bit goofy, trash talker, and flamboyant. I can see him getting under Chito's skin. Well, the first fight didn't last very long. O'Malley came out strong, Chito slow starting as usual, and O'Malley was doing really good in the boxing. However, Chito Vera was landing kicks to the body and to the legs. Eventually, he was able to paralyze Sean O'Malley. All it took was one calf kick, O'Malley went down, Chito got in full guard and landed some vicious elbows. I believe O'Malley went out, or he was getting close, and it was a very devastating loss to O'Malley, his first loss. The hype train that he was riding was derailed. Well, Sean went on to call this a fluke in any podcast. It was almost a joke at one point. A running joke, and Chito Vera didn't really care. He continued with his career. Well, over time, Sean O'Malley continued to win and continued to get better. On the other hand, Chito Vera started to slow down quite a bit. He had some shaky performances against older competition. People started to see that maybe Chito Vera did get lucky. As the years went by, O'Malley continued to run his mouth about Chito. Well, fast forward to today. It's starting to look like a fluke. You see, Sean O'Malley is now bantamweight champion, and Chito Vera recently lost to Corey Sandhagen, one of the top contenders. He looked a little lackluster against Pedro Munoz. Sean O'Malley, who one of the few fighters that can call the shots in the UFC, decided to challenge Chito Vera for a title shot. He's giving him an opportunity, and I believe Chito Vera is going to be very, very motivated for this fight. Not just because of the bad blood. He's also getting a title shot that he knows and the people know he doesn't deserve. It might be the last time he gets a title shot ever. He wants to be the first champion in his country, and obviously wants to shut up all the naysayers. So when it comes to this fight, I'm not going to predict. I believe this is going to be a closer fight than on paper, just because we're going to get a Chito Vera who's going to be very motivated. Sean O'Malley created this. He's going to get what he's asking for, UFC 299. However, I'm not here to predict the fight. Like I said, I'm here to ask you the question, who would you rather see as a champion? The inspiration for this video is my lack of respect for Sean O'Malley these days. You see, I used to be a big Sean O'Malley fan, but recently he's been speaking a little too much about his personal life. I don't respect it at all. Guess we can call him a cuck, but whatever. That's his personal life. I still don't think that's how a champion should brand himself or represent the sport or the weight class. We're going to go over a few topics and we're going to decide who would be a better champion for the UFC. Obviously, starting with character, I used to like Sean O'Malley. I used to think he was very brash, very outspoken, very cocky. The more that I watch his podcast, the more that I hear him talk, I realize that he puts on a character sometimes. It's not really him being cocky. It's his Conor McGregor copycat persona that he puts on. That's not really him. He's more of a sweet guy. But when the cameras come on during the press conferences is when he lets them go. And I just don't respect the fakeness of that. It seems forced at times. On the other hand, we have Chito Vera, who's a very mean person, very serious, very outspoken, but means it and hasn't changed. In the press conference, he'll say the same shit he talked about on a podcast.
Really, me and my team, we really think the way he fights is kind of like very low level. Like, there's no base, there's no good stance. All that movement side to side, like, I'm like, we told each other, we have to kick this guy's ass.
He's not playing a character, he's being himself. So, out of 3, I would say number 1 point when it comes to character goes to Chito Vera. You see, Sean O'Malley is a family man, and so is Chito Vera, and so am I, so I can relate to this. Sean O'Malley is not the best husband, consistently talks about his wife on the podcast, and he disrespects her any chance he gets when he talks about other women, even though you can tell by his reactions at times that he's getting in trouble or has gotten in trouble.
Phoenix.
This guy. No one walks around Phoenix. That shit too hot.
It is a little hot. You're buying jewelry. You're getting a new watch.
I've been buying jewelry. Been buying watches.
And the hoes haven't changed at all.
He got in trouble last time.
You got in trouble.
He got in trouble last time. He got in trouble last time. She's like, yo.
And then other times, he may be drunk or on drugs or high, and he says whatever he wants about his personal life with her. And this clip right here is kind of what makes me a little shaky on Sean O'Malley. You see, he has a daughter, a wife now. And it's a relationship that clearly his wife is not okay with. And neither is he if he's calling this guy out for what his wife said. It seems to me like he wants his cake and to eat it too. And I don't respect that when you have little kids living that type of lifestyle. When he was on the Andrew Schultz podcast, it seems like he's changing a bit. On the other hand, we have Chito Vera, who has multiple kids. He's been married to the same wife for many years. And the reason why he started fighting was because he needed money for his daughter's surgery and providing a better family for them. I mean, behind doors, we don't know what's going on. He could be beating her, beating the kids for all I know. But what he puts out there seems like a great guy. Family man. That's how a family should stay together and be together. That's how a man should behave with his family. I think that's a perfect role model for somebody that would bantamweight champion, representing the UFC, representing the weight class, representing his country, and representing males out there. So once again, when it comes to relationships, we're going to go with Chito. Number 3, performances in the UFC. Right off the bat, Chito has been a letdown for me for a few fights. I lost some money against Corey Sandhagen. Cheeto looked old, washed, like he couldn't figure it out. Didn't throw any, which he usually doesn't, but this time literally anything for the whole fight. Corey wrestled him, confused him. Cheeto did not land a single punch the whole fight. Then obviously he had a fight, Pedro Munoz recently. Snooze fest, started late again, but won the fight. It was very close. Pedro Munoz is old at the end of his career, so I don't think that was a really good performance. 2022, he had a better year. Obviously, he beat Dominic Cruz. Once again, an older man. Took him 4 rounds to do it, but it was a nice knockout. He beat Ralph Font, which was a legit win, and he's looked okay. He hasn't looked too bad, but at the same time, I don't think that's championship quality. On the other hand, we have Sean O'Malley, who made Pedro Munoz quit. Had a tough fight with Peter Yan, probably the most dangerous guy in the division, and obviously that nasty one-punch knockout of Aljamain Sterling. So when it comes to who's looked better recently, obviously the Sugar Show has. Easy. It's not even a competition. Now let's talk about future. Who has a brighter future in the UFC? I legit thought Chito Vera was like over 36, but he's only 31. He only has 2 years over Sean O'Malley, who's 29 now. Chito Vera actually has a few years before he retires, but the thing is, I don't think he's that type of fighter who's going to keep defending his title. Even if he wins at UFC 299, I think he's a beatable fighter, and the division knows this is. So if he were to beat Sean O'Malley, he's going to have a bigger target than most champions do, because there's guys out there that already beat him. And he hasn't shown me that he can defeat some of these guys. I mean, if he were to fight Merab or one of these top contenders, it might be a tough fight for him if he can't stop takedowns. On the other hand, we have Sean O'Malley, who really only lost against Chito. And if he wins this fight, it's going to be fucking bananas. He pretty much erases it from his record and goes back to being undefeated. That's what the UFC is hoping for. And I am as well. I believe regardless of what Sean O'Malley's like, when it comes to fighting, he's legit, and that overshadows everything. So I would rather see him as a champion than Chito Vera. I can ignore everything that's happened in his personal life and just respect his fighting ability, because I love the one-punch knockouts, and I love his style. It's better than Chito Vera. Chito Vera's a slow starter. It's hard, but sometimes he's just a no-go, and O'Malley's always go-go. So I would say I prefer Sean O'Malley to be the champion still. I wish he would play more into his character and just live that way, and like a Conor McGregor, instead of like acting nice 1 minute and acting bad the next minute. Tell me who you would like as a champion in the comments. Subscribe, hit that notification. Talk to me.